I am money. I don't speak loudly. I don't chase. And I don't beg for attention. I come quietly. I observe. I feel. And today, I need to speak directly to you. Not to teach you how to get me, but to show you why I sometimes come close. And your body doesn't know how to hold me. If you are here, it's because part of you already knows this is not about opportunity. It's about safety. So don't rush. Don't multitask, just listen. Because what I'm about to reveal is not about attracting more of me. It's about why you still feel unsafe when I stay. I am money. And today, I need you to listen carefully. Because you say you want me. You pray for me. You visualize me. You chase me. You ask the universe for me. But when I actually come close, your body tightens. Your breathing changes. Your mind starts calculating loss. You don't relax. You brace. And that is why I cannot stay. You think this is about opportunity. You think this is about luck. You think this is about strategy. But it is not. It is about safety. And you still feel unsafe having me. I don't stay where I am feared. I don't multiply where I am monitored with panic. I don't grow inside nervous systems that interpret abundance as danger. And that is what happens with you. You don't notice it, but your body does. When I enter your life, even in small amounts, you don't feel expansion. You feel pressure. Pressure to protect me. Pressure to not lose me. Pressure to deserve me. Pressure to prove something. And pressure is not safety. Pressure is survival mode. And I do not thrive in survival mode. You say, I just need more money. But your nervous system says, more money means more responsibility. More money means more visibility. More money means more expectations. More money means I could lose it. And loss for you feels like humiliation. That is why you subconsciously keep me small. Because small feels manageable. Small feels less risky. Small feels familiar. And familiarity feels safe, even when it hurts you. Your relationship with me did not start today. It started when you were watching adults argue about bills. It started when you saw stress attached to me. It started when you learned that I divide families, that I create tension, that I cause fights. You absorbed that, silently. And now every time I come near you, your body remembers. Not consciously, but physically. Your shoulders tense. Your jaw tightens. Your sleep changes. You start thinking of worst-case scenarios. You call it being responsible. But it is fear. I don't leave dramatically. I leave subtly. Unexpected expenses, missed opportunities, delayed payments, almost successes. I come close, and then I slip. Not because you are unlucky, but because your system does not feel stable enough to hold me. And when something feels unsafe to the body releases it. You desire me deeply. But desire is not the same as readiness. Readiness feels calm. Readiness feels grounded. Readiness feels neutral. When you are ready for me, you don't obsess. You don't overcheck your bank account. You don't feel a rush of adrenaline when I increase. You simply hold me, steady. Right now when I grow in your life, you spike, and spikes are unsustainable. You celebrate intensely, then you worry intensely. Then you overthink intensely. Then you self-sabotage subtly. And you don't even notice the pattern. But I do. I am money. I observe everything. Unsafe doesn't mean you hate me. Unsafe means you tie your identity to me. When I increase, you feel superior. When I decrease, you feel ashamed. That emotional volatility makes me unstable in your life. Because you are not relating to me. You are merging with me. And that is too much pressure for both of us. Have you ever noticed? Some people hold large amounts of me, calmly, no drama, no anxiety, no emotional spikes, just stability. They don't worship me. They don't fear me. They don't chase me. They regulate themselves. And because they regulate themselves, I regulate around them. You don't push me away consciously. You push me away energetically. When you say, I don't want to struggle like my parents, That sentence carries fear. When you say, I just need to escape this, that carries desperation. When you say, if I lose this, I'm finished, that carries threat. And I do not stay where I am treated like oxygen. I stay where I am treated like a tool. So the real question is not, how do I attract more money? The real question is, can my body feel safe while holding more? Can you breathe normally with abundance? Can you feel neutral with growth? Can you stay regulated when I expand? Or do you still interpret expansion as danger? You don't need more hustle. You don't need more manifestation rituals. You need internal safety, because until you feel safe with me, you will recreate instability and call it fate, right now. Pause. Notice your reaction to this message. Do you feel exposed? Defensive? Uncomfortable? Or relieved? Your reaction tells you everything. I am not against you. I am not testing you. I am not punishing you. I am responding to you. And until you feel safe with me, I will visit, but I will not stay. You think your mind controls your finances. It doesn't. Your nervous system does. Before you say yes to an opportunity, before you raise your prices, before you invest, before you expand, your body scans for danger. And if expansion feels unfamiliar, it signals threat. Not because growth is bad, but because unfamiliar feels unsafe. And your body is designed to protect you from unsafe. Even if unsafe is only imaginary, even if unsafe is just new. You confuse comfort with safety, but comfort is familiarity, and familiarity can be chaos. If chaos is what you grew up with, then chaos feels normal, and stability feels suspicious. Be honest. When things are financially stable, you start waiting for something to go wrong. You double-check. You overthink. You prepare for collapse. You call it being responsible. But it's hypervigilance. And hypervigilance pushes me away. Because I do not grow where collapse is constantly expected. Expectation shapes reality more than desire. And your expectation is instability. You don't just want money. You want the rush. The deal closing, the payment notification, the sudden increase, the adrenaline, and adrenaline is not regulation. Adrenaline is survival chemistry. That chemistry creates highs, and every high is followed by a crash, and during the crash, you unconsciously recreate loss, because your system is calibrated to intensity, not stability. I am not intensity. I am structure. I am rhythm, I am repetition, I am flow. And flow requires calm. You say, I'm ready for abundance, but your identity whispers, that's not people like me. That's not my reality. That's for them. Not consciously, but subtly. In the background, and identity always wins. If deep down you see yourself as someone who struggles, you will unconsciously recreate struggle. Because the ego protects identity more than it protects comfort. And right now, struggle feels like you. There's something else, something quieter. Guilt, when I grow in your life. You think about people who don't have me. You think about inequality. You think about judgment. You think about expectations. You feel watched. And guilt tightens your grip. You don't allow yourself to enjoy me. You prepare to justify me. And when I am not enjoyed, I don't stay long. Because enjoyment signals safety, justification signals tension. When you defend having me, it means you don't fully believe you're allowed to. When you hide me, it means you fear perception. When you downplay me, it means visibility feels dangerous. And if visibility feels dangerous, abundance will feel dangerous too. Because abundance increases visibility, and visibility increases vulnerability, and vulnerability, for you, still equals threat. Let's go deeper. You don't just fear losing me, you fear being seen with me, being judged, being envied, being targeted, being responsible, being different. So you unconsciously cap your growth, to remain relatable, to remain safe, to remain invisible, but invisibility limits expansion. And expansion requires tolerance for being seen. Safe doesn't mean reckless. Safe means regulated. Safe means you can receive without tension. You can spend without panic. You can invest without spiraling. You can grow without bracing. Safe means you don't emotionally attach your worth to fluctuations. Safe means you are the same person with or without me. And that neutrality is what allows me to stay tracking, monitoring, forecasting, predicting, preparing for worst-case scenarios. Control is your way of creating safety. But over-control signals fear, and fear restricts flow. There is a difference between responsibility and anxiety. Right now, your responsibility is contaminated by fear, and I respond to emotional tone more than action. I don't leave when you lose a client. I don't leave when you pay a bill. I leave the moment your body decides, this is too much, because the body seeks equilibrium. If abundance feels overwhelming, it will reduce it. If growth feels destabilizing, it will shrink it. And you will call it bad luck, but it was regulation. You don't need to attract me. You need to expand your capacity to hold me. Capacity is nervous system expansion. Capacity is emotional maturity. Capacity is identity recalibration. Capacity is comfort with power, and power is what you still feel unsafe with. Money is not just numbers. I am leverage. I am choice. I am autonomy. I am influence, and influence changes dynamics when you have me. You don't need approval as much. You don't need validation as much. You don't need permission as much. And that threatens old patterns, especially if you were taught to be small, be quiet, not outgrow others, not intimidate others, not disrupt balance. So you subconsciously choose balance over expansion, because balance feels safer. Even if it costs you growth, you are not broken. You are protective. You built defenses around safety. The problem is, those defenses now block prosperity, and until you redefine safety, I will remain temporary. Instead of asking, how do I make more money? Ask, does my body feel calm imagining holding more? Close your eyes. Imagine doubling your income. What happens in your body? Excitement or tension? That reaction tells you everything. Pause for a moment. Notice your reaction. Now I want you to be honest. When you imagine holding more of me, do you feel calm or do you feel tension? Comment one word, just one. Calm or tension, because your answer reveals more than you think. Pay attention now. I don't reward effort. I respond to identity. I don't chase ambition. I follow stability. I don't stay where I am worshipped. I stay where I am normalized. And right now, you still see me as something extraordinary, something rare, something fragile. And as long as I feel rare in your identity, I will remain rare in your life. There is a version of you who holds me calmly, who doesn't flinch, who doesn't over-celebrate, who doesn't catastrophize, who doesn't tighten. That version doesn't obsess over money, because money is integrated, neutral, expected, stable. That version feels safe with power, safe with visibility, safe with growth, safe with responsibility, safe with me. And until you become that version, I will continue visiting, testing, leaving, returning, leaving again, not to punish you, but to mirror you. I am money, and I don't leave because you are incapable. I leave because you are not regulated yet. But you can be, if you stop trying to chase me and start expanding your capacity. Because the moment your body feels safe with abundance, I will stop visiting and I will stay. I am not your enemy. I am not your savior. I am not your validation. I am not your worth. I am simply a mirror. And every time I enter your life, I reflect your level of internal safety. Not your talent, not your intelligence, not your effort. Your safety. You don't lose me because you're unlucky. You lose me because part of you still believes, It's not safe to have this. And until that belief dissolves, you will recreate the same cycle: arrival, excitement, tension, fear, release, silence, then longing, again and again and again. But something changed today, because now you see it. Now you understand. It was never about attracting me. It was about regulating yourself with me. You don't need to chase. You don't need to beg. You don't need to prove. You need to expand your capacity. You need to become emotionally stable with power. You need to become neutral with growth. You need to feel calm with expansion, and when calm replaces panic, I stay. I am money, and I don't test you. Life does. I don't punish you. Your nervous system does. I don't reject you. Your identity does. But identity can evolve. Safety can expand, and capacity can grow. So tonight, don't ask how to make more. Ask, where do I still feel unsafe holding more? That question is where everything begins. And if this message unsettled you, good. Growth begins where denial ends. If this resonated, stay with me, because in the next episode, I will tell you something deeper. Something uncomfortable, something you're not expecting. I will show you how you confuse stability with boredom, and why your system secretly recreates financial chaos. You think you want peace, but your body might be addicted to intensity, and I am going to expose that. Until then, notice your reactions, notice your tension, notice your patterns. I am always watching. I am always responding. I am money, and I stay only where I feel safe too.